Have a seat in my chair with Brittany Nicole. This show is about unlocking the vault on all things hair, from texture, lifestyle, and the psychological effects that we go through from day to day dealing with our hair. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hey guys, welcome back. So first I want to begin by shouting out somebody who I've been watching on a reality show, but I didn't even realize she was like such a mogul. Her name is Stormy Steele. You guys may know her from Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we see her creating her brand on there. But recently her business just began like blowing up. She went like viral on TikTok and she sold $1 million of products on TikTok in 5 hours. She's popular for this hair serum that makes your hair grow. I haven't tried it, but it looks like it works. And this body glaze that looks like baby oil and body butter and a body cream like all mixed together. I see it online, but it's always sold out. So one day I'm going to try it. But anyway, she also did the name of her product is Canvas Girl Beauty. She was also on a podcast. I don't know if you guys know B. Simone, but she interviewed Stormy on her podcast, and it was super good. So I don't know what the name of the podcast is right now, but just look up B. Simone and Stormy Steele interview, and I'm sure it'll pop up on YouTube or something. But she's definitely trailblazing and motivational, especially for me. And if you guys are exploring the entrepreneurship journey, I definitely suggest looking her up on Google, but they also have a really good article on Forbes magazine or in Forbes magazine about her, and she kind of gives like her whole journey, which is like super crazy. So shout out to her. She's killing it. This episode, I want to talk about some curly girl mistakes that I notice you guys are making when you're trying to deal with your hair. So I'm gonna try to keep it quick and then like address it and give like a quick little tip or hack. So number one, detangling. Curly hair needs to be detangled. Okay, and I mean from the root to the ends, not just on the ends, but you need to be able to take your comb and comb from the root to the end. Do not try to detangle your hair when it's dry. It is gonna promote breakage. You're probably gonna get a lot of fairy knots snapping off. What are fairy knots? Fairy knots are when the two ends of your hair curl together or tie together in a knot. And then when you try to comb it or run your fingers through, they pop off and break. That's what a fairy knot is. And you never really want to curl or detangle your hair when your hair is dry. But you need to make sure that when you detangle, that comb can glide through from the root to the end, because if you don't, when you start parting the hair and when you start trying to work and manage it and style it, then after you set it, you're going to have a whole lot more tangles and difficulty moving forward. So detangle your hair and detangle it when it's wet, and do it thoroughly. Each section, especially the middle, because you guys give up in the middle. Second, not getting trims is one of the worst things you could do. I know you guys are super traumatized, like, I don't want heat, I don't want to blow dry, and blah, blah, blah. But there are benefits to blow dries. The benefit of the blow dry is that, and this is just blow drying for a trim or manageability. I'm not saying a blow dry flat iron. I'm just saying blow drying to get your ends trimmed. But the benefit of that is you will get you'll get more direction on your cuticle, because when you're so anti-heat, your hair kind of goes wild and goes crazy. Even if it's like super moisturized, you're still not gonna get as nice of a finish if you start to blow dry your hair to stretch it out. But really, just for trims, like to it's easier to see like what's going on with the hair. Especially I noticed too, like the sandy hair girls, they need trims a little bit more often because their hair is prone to being dry. So I would suggest at least like every quarter get a trim if you're a curly girl. I'm not really a stickler on the every 6 weeks thing. I'm more of a believer in do it as you need it versus like every 6 weeks you have to get a trim, because some people's hair is more healthier than others. Some people don't have as much damage as others. Some people don't put as much damage on their hair as others. So that's my rule for that. But if you don't get trimmed, you'll get more breakage, you'll have more unevenness, and your hair will not be as moisturized and luxurious, and it also will not retain moisture if the ends are all blown out and dry, and it looks bad and ugly. And then you have like all these little, I don't know, stringy things when you try to do like a twist out or wash and go, and that's not ever cute. So get your hair trimmed. The other thing, so using improper tools. I see you guys using crazy combs and brushes when you're trying to comb your hair and detangle it. Don't use your hands as the only method, okay? Your hands cannot detangle your hair like you think. It can after you've already like pre-detangled it, but I don't want to see fingers detangling nothing. Like, it's ridiculous to me. Just get a comb or a paddle brush. I like using both depending on the texture that I'm using. If your hair is super, super tangly, you need a paddle brush and you need a wide tooth comb. The wide tooth comb is going to help you get like bigger sections that are detangled. But if you need to do like a micro section or you have a lot of tangles at the bottom, a paddle brush is great for that. But don't use well, I'm not going to say don't, but I really don't like Denman brushes because the ends of the teeth are super spiky. And I feel like if your hair is already compromised, it's just going to break it off even more because there's no give. And I feel like it's just going to like promote breakage and pulling it out. So no Denman brush, just a good sturdy paddle brush is what I would recommend. Also, a really good wide tooth comb. Try to get a comb that doesn't have any seams on the sides or the back of the comb, because a lot of times that will also break your hair off too. So be mindful of that. And another thing is, please only comb when it's wet. If you have to comb when it's dry, it should be pre-stretched so that the comb can glide through. Let's see. Okay, next thing. You guys who have curly hair really need to start layering your products more, and I think it would help you retain moisture and receive moisture. What do I mean by layering your products? That means you have one product, you put that on, comb it through, work it through, then you add the next one, comb it through, work it through, then you add the next one, comb it through, work it through. Instead of like just putting it on and like kind of mixing them all together, like if you put them on one at a time, you can kind of gauge how much product you'll need going through while you're layering it. Because if you put it on too soon, a lot of times you end up with too much product and you can't even see if the first one even absorbed in your hair in the first place. Also, that's how you get a lot of like that white cast on your hair, is when you have too much products and it hasn't had a chance to absorb fully in your hair. Also too, like understanding your products and what they do. A lot of these videos just show girls putting the products on their hair, but not really showing you why, what it does, like what's the point or the meaning. So when you're just copying these videos and spending all this money buying this stuff, you're just like, oh my God, it worked for her. Why isn't it working for me? And it's like, because you don't know what you're doing. And remember this. So creams, any type of like leave-in sprays not leave-in sprays. Creams need to go on wet hair or they can rehydrate hair. Butters are like a sealant or oils are like a sealant, so they'll lock in the moisture. Leave-ins can rehydrate a curl or prepare the hair for a cream, like almost like a toner for your skin. And I think those are like the main issues that I see. Oh, also, I think a lot of you guys need to get a really good foam. My favorite foam is Nairobi foam, and the reason it's my favorite is because I feel like it has a good hold, and it also can help you like dilute a little bit of the product if you put too much on and you use foam to set your hair. I feel like it kind of can like pull some of that overcast out if you put too much product on there. Sectioning. You guys need to section your hair. When you just come out of a shampoo and your hair is like super big and all over the place, if you don't section your hair, it is overwhelming. It can be just like, how do I tackle this? And that's why I think a lot of you guys don't have the middle part combed out or can get to the roots. And I think that's what is promoting a lot of breakage, is that you guys aren't sectioning your hair. I see videos all the time and it's like you guys are just going for it. One of the things that sectioning will do is while you're working through your hair, if you put it in sections as you're detangling, it will keep some moisture in your hair if you braid up the sections as you go, so that if you're styling or doing a twist out, your hair isn't drying completely out by the time you get to the other side of your head. So I definitely recommend sectioning and braiding up the sections. Let's see. What else is on my list? Okay. I think that steam is important, but not as important as they make it seem. Like, you can have nice conditioned hair without using a steamer. Sometimes on Instagram, they make you feel like your hair is inadequate or can't achieve this style, and you can't do this and you can't do that unless you have all these tools. But really, that's not true. And a lot of times you're not going to even achieve the result you want after one steam or one deep conditioner. You need to do it multiple times, and your hair needs to start building up a moisture balance. I don't know if you ever tried, but if your hair was dry and you put a deep conditioner on and then you let it sit and then you rinse it out and you're like, nothing happened to my hair. But then you do it again and again, you start noticing your hair becomes more lush and more supple and like more manageable. It's because it needs to be a constant, consistent thing. You can't just do like a one-off and expect all these results. Same thing as like going into the salon or taking care of your hair sometimes, and then you're wondering, why doesn't my hair grow? I didn't do this. I only did this once, and like, how come it's breaking off or whatever? And it's just like, you have to be consistent if you want results. If you don't want results, then I'm not talking to you. Okay? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I think most girls want results though, and most girls want to see the remnants of their labor, and they want healthy hair and then maybe long hair second, because you can't have pretty long hair without it being healthy first. Also too, what I've noticed is that some people will set their hair and they'll do it, and then after day 3, day 4, it's gone completely to high hell. And it's like, what's the point of making your hair all moisturized and all twisted up and all this stuff only for you to get to day 4, give up, don't style it anymore, don't wash it, don't do nothing, you aren't even sleeping on a silk pillowcase, and then come in the shop. For some reason, the ends we just cut are back broke off again like 4 weeks later. And then you want to be like, why isn't my hair growing? And then I'm like, so, what happened? You just stopped taking care of your hair? You just stopped wrapping it? Like, what's going on? And then you're like, I just didn't wrap my hair the night before. Like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, do I look stupid? Who are you trying to fool? Like, I'm Inspector Gadget on everybody that sits in my chair's head, okay? Like, I know that you probably gave up days ago. You haven't moisturized anything because I can basically light this on fire. And it's just like, stop lying to me. But I want you to know that I know that you're lying. And I also know that you want results allegedly, but somewhere in between, you're getting overwhelmed with your hair and you don't want to take care of it. So you just let it just get ruined. And it is frustrating to me. So that leads me to, just because you're natural doesn't mean that natural is for you. If you can't take care of your hair or you end up giving up, then I think you need another style. Unless you don't care about having all different types of split ends and your hair will never get past shoulder length or the back of your neck because you keep dropping the ball at the end of the game. And that is not going to work. If you want to be natural and curly, you have to take care of your hair every day. When it dries out and the curls aren't curling no more, you have to wash and you have to start over. And usually that happens every like 2.5 to 2 to 4 days. You're going to have to wash it and redo the whole thing all over again. And most of you guys have jobs and don't have time for that. And I think that's why a lot of people are just like, I just want to wear my hair straight again. I want to relax, or I want this and I want that, because it is a lot of work to be curly. So if you don't got the time, don't even do it. It's just, for what? We can't have it all. Hair is about lifestyle. It is not about what we think is cute and what we want to do. What can you take care of? That is what you need to think about when you want to be curly. Because if it, after like a short little hairstyle, when it starts growing out and you got to start combing it and stuff, it's like, I need to reevaluate this because it's too much. And you have to navigate all these products and which one works for your hair. And it's just like expensive. I'm not saying it can't be done, but do you really want to do it? You need to think about it. The next thing, let me see. But did I get through everything? Oh, this is the last one. You guys, you curly girls, I definitely recommend you setting your hair or forming it. Do not just wash and do not just go. Okay? That doesn't really help your hair at all. It's kind of like for those girls that wash their hair every day, maybe can get away with it. But if you're just like, I just washed it and I just went and I just left, like, a wash and go is not really a literal phrase. Like, you need to, it should be like wash, set, and then go. Wash it, form your curl, let it dry, and that will last you a couple of days. A wash and go lasts maybe not even a half a day. And also understand, curly hair doesn't really do that great in certain weather conditions either. Like, people think, oh, I'm natural, I can go out in the rain or the fog or extreme heat. And it's like, no, Because remember, I told you guys on the other episodes, our hair changes from heat and water. And just because your hair is natural, it will, and you set the curl, if it hits fog, those curls and that set will start becoming undone and turn more into like an organic curl or your fro or frizz or something like that. So you still can't take your curly hair for granted because it will end up looking crazy even after you set it to be like bouncy and curly. So remember that. But I definitely recommend, if you want to retain the moisture in your hair after you wash it and put all those products on there, you need to do some type of like shingling, a twist out, a braid out, bantu knots, or like some flat twist, some type of style to lock in the moisture. Then if you decide after it dries to take it out and wear kind of like a wild curly style, that's fine. But like if you are trying to keep your hair moisturized, you need to remember to set that hair because it'll lock in all of the products that you put in there. So just a quick recap. We want to consider, but I definitely strongly recommend, stretching your hair before you get a trim, getting trims, detangling your hair, detangling wet hair with the proper combs and brushes, wide tooth or paddle brush, layer your products, understand your products, section your hair, detangle properly, and not giving up on your hair and finishing the race. Okay? If you know your hair, the style is dead, then wash it and start over. The end. Okay. I hope that helps some of you guys. Let me know in the comments or send me an email at yourwelcometosit@gmail.com. You can find me on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you have any topics or any questions you want me to answer on the next episode. Thank you for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys all have a good day.